An emerging bulletin from the cosmic. For those who have used the charge desk in the past 24 hours and have seen Atsume, please contact your cosmic anchor supervisor. 24 hours is the measurement for a full day revolution of the sun star of the Milky Way galaxy on the planet Earth. It is very important for the cosmic to know when you last saw Atsume and which charge folder you checked out for reading or saw microfilm on. There is no need to panic. As we are all aware, charge desk occupants will return to commune with the cosmic and recharge due to their hazardous and yet uplifting work. This is their prerogative, a freedom afforded to only them. But of course, there's also a schedule for these sorts of, as immortals call them, vacations. Atsume, if you are listening, please get in contact with someone. Surf City Donuts is the story of the Black family and their three surviving sons, the heirs to the fried dough kingdom upon its own waves of sand. Ben, Edgar, and Mace are the three descendants of Heatherton Black, a founding member of Surf City. One other descendant of the founding five families of Surf City is known and revealed. One is still unknown, even to themselves. But that is not unusual for the mortal way of life. Mace knocks on the door to the bathroom in the Black family home, with rapid succession as though throwing a dart. The breathing is hitched, and they are experienced enough in their plight to know that Edgar, who is currently in the bathroom, doesn't hear the beckonings, doesn't see the paintings in the same way, let alone see them moving. Edgar doesn't even know that if you take the paintings to the attic, they will easily return to their places in the morning, still talking, still moving, undulating, as if moving under their own power. Mace and Edgar are currently both in inescapable hells of their own making. Ironically, now is a time that Edgar wants to be trapped in the bathroom, especially one of the ones at home. It is the easiest way. The grip of VR, the last whispers now leaving his head, makes his soul yearn for his supply even more, and his supplier. VR is exquisite for him, and his lone body is not enough. It is the betrayer. VR is both adrenaline and calming. It is placid and yet causes his body to ripple throughout the universe. And though he mourns the unlocated and likely dead rage, his anger grows as well, simply due to a lack of new suppliers. Edgar knows there must still be vampires out there. So where are all the suppliers? Occupied, he barks out at the rapid knocks from Mace. I don't care what you're doing in there, just let me in, Mace cries, nearly hysterical. Flag you. Dear listeners, the Cosmic has asked for the remainder of this friendly conversation to not be filled with as accurate dialogue as is used at the time portrayed. For those wishing for accurate dialogue featuring colorful mortal curse language, you must see Atsume. Engel cannot touch the files. Atsume, where are you? Atsume, please return. Mace's voice becomes increasingly desperate. Anything, anything, I'll give you. How much cash do I have? That's my. Change rolls all over the floor, spilling out from Mace's pockets as their hand trembles. Ding, click, roll, scroll, right down the hallway, right against the bottom of the door frame. Mace puts their shoulder into the motion, willing to tear down the very doors of the place itself for peace. Keep out! We have 4 bathrooms in this house and a half bath off the kitchen. Why you gotta bother me? Punch me later, Mace hollers out in desperation, and comes flying into the room, shards and splinters of the door moving both before and in their speed-filled wake, causing even Edgar to grimace, defenseless to the flying, brittle pieces of old yet solid door. Edgar is naked and submerged in a tub full of ice, steaming enough that is now half water and half ice against his skin. The tub itself is rather large and used to be a clawfoot specimen with cascading copper pipes spiderwebbing amongst the walls, before renovations demanded a bit more modernity. What is your major malfunction, Candy Butt? Edgar asks, his face full of concern rather than venom, though it is still twisted in a grimace. It slackens a little as he sees the panic in Mace, sees the slit. You out of your medication? No, I always have some extras in. Mace's hand still shakes. They look around the room for a moment as if forgetting where they are. Mace can hear them just out in the hall, never knowing what they'll say, never knowing what they'll see, and that's somehow worse. The medication does help a little, dulls a little, but it also dulls Mace a little. They know how their mother feels. She's been very frank about it since being in a painting, and yet Mace desperately wants to live any life but the one that she wants for them. Mace wants their own life, not for Sarah, not just to battle monsters or join monsters or whatever mother thinks. Not some sense of duty or obligation or even fear. Now, they've seen the night fear. They've lived it firsthand as unhoused in dive bars, under bridges, as if in the meat grinder of the very world itself. The awakened paintings prove to me that there is no rest, though they would never call themselves wicked, so they're not quite sure why they don't get to rest. Dear listeners, I have not yet received a bulletin from the Cosmic this week. My apology. In lieu of the bulletin, let me describe some things I saw from my time on Earth, keeping a charge. Saddleback shoes. Gene Kelly dancing. Apple strudel. The koala bear, which sleeps a lot. Rain. I very much enjoyed rain. Soft rain, though, dear listeners. A quiet, still summer rain in the daytime. Not hard, cold rain cloaked in darkness, but an inviting near miss. Atsume, if you're listening, we invite your return. We miss you. I miss you. Angel misses you. If you return, I will talk more about rain, or about a soft snow. Snow is very much like rain, though it's colder and sometimes it sticks. Snow is a blanket, where rain is a river. Snow does not move in rivulets. Snow, for a moment, makes all things look clean. Snow. You don't make enough to go around breaking doors down in this place, Edgar says, and he is teasing his brother. He is out of the tub now, and though not shaking, is quite sore. Heat radiates off him in waves, though it seems more like a trick than reality. In reality, Edgar is actually blistering cold, so cold thanks to the VR that his body is deeply emulating heat. Around Edgar's waist is wrapped a fluffy white towel, and as brothers are wont to do, he has invaded his sibling's personal space. Neither do you, Mace snaps grumpily. Take your pill, Edgar insists. Mace sighs and holds up the empty bottle, giving it a little shake, a little rattle. Guess I never really got the refill. You gonna be okay? Edgar grunts, his gaze pinpointing on Mace. Mace moves over and sits on the edge of the tub, looking at the remnants of the door and then to his brother. Why were you in a tub filled with ice water? Why are you acting like a maniac? I asked first. Edgar thinks up a lie, though it's only quick because it's a familiar lie. Sports medicine trick, good for that. Makes a fist and pumps his hand a few times. Joints, blood flow. Going back into the ring? Mace asks curiously. I thought. Edgar snorts in response, interrupting, not wishing a recount of personal history. Don't be a jerk. And then, a moment later, get dressed. I'll drive you to town to get more pills. Mace shakes their head. Nobody's gonna fill them here. Hell, I don't think our insurance covers them. Ben does good with the stuff. He takes care of his own. Ben hates me, Edge. Not that I can blame him. Nah, Edgar says and sits down on the edge of the tub himself, though with a bigger form he is certainly more precariously perched. Ben just has a crummy way of showing emotion, but he loves you. Loves us both. What's up with us both? We all know the donut shop is the glue of this little BS brotherhood we've got going on here. Siblinghood, Mace says quietly. What? Oh, nothing, Mace says again, slightly louder this time. Shoot, I'm bleeding, they say, noticing little drips of red, now dotting the tile floor. Eh, not nearly bad enough to be hamburger, but let's at least get this cleaned up, huh? Just a flesh wound, right? Edgar says, trying with some false cheer. Shoulder like that, you could do some kickboxing or something if you wanted. May shakes her head. Never was too much for sports. Not much for anything. No, that's not true. Please. Mom always did all your thinking for you. Yeah, well, Dad liked you best, and it's not like I was ever going to be able to compete with Ben, right? Well, nobody can compete with the firstborn son. Ben is perfect. It's everybody's favorite. Daddy has the personality of a toad on a log, May says snarkily, and then goes a little pale as Edgar prepares some items from both the first aid kit and a small toolbox, as though a ritual. You're not going to use that on me, are you? Come on, fishing line is sanitary, and I don't think you're in any condition to go for the super glue in the garage, right? Mace makes a little noise in the back of their throat. Hey, and who knows? Guys might dig the scar. Edgar smirks a little, trying to be upbeat. Setting about his work as Mace grips aside the tub. Only guy in town I ever liked hasn't even tried to see me. Well, Truist is probably busy. He probably found somebody else. Don't know anything about that, Edgar lies again. He grimaces as he starts to work. Sorry, hand. What's wrong with your hand? Mace asks, noting Edgar's trouble, and bracing for the pinch. Though not the most delicate, working with his hand at all right now seems to keep Edgar's full attention, and it's not effortless, and it's far too noticeable for them both. It's he tries to like, and it's been funny this week. Boxing, arthritis. Edgar tries to explain how he feels, how his body is, how tight it all seems, but he can't really. He's confined and broken down and aches, and he wishes so that it didn't. Edgar's greatest wish is for a world in which, if it did, he'd at least still have memories of victory to live with, instead of feeling like a busted down washing machine in a junkyard, ready to be scrapped for parts. You're not okay, are you? Mace asks quietly. You're not either, Edgar acknowledges. People that bust down doors rarely are. What caused your relapse? Now Mace shakes her head. It wasn't a relapse. A relapse implies that anything ever stopped. Pills don't help? Edgar grunts, furrowing his brow. No, they do. It's just more complicated than that. Pills don't solve everything. Don't I know it? Edgar snorts. Trouble has not said anything to be read either. So, listeners, we should not take this in any way as their involvement in the case of Atsume, who is likely just on vacation and is most sincerely likely not missing. I am more than sure Atsume is not missing. I think perhaps this is where we'll end today, at the midway point of this conversation. We all feel the heartbeat of the cosmic and are worried for both the Black family and for dear Atsume grows. Will Edgar and Mace grow closer due to their conditions? What of the syringe of blood in Truist's possession? And what will Edgar do if rage ever really does return? All this answered and more, especially on part 2 of Inescapable, on the next episode of Surf City Donut. Surf City is an audio work of John McDonald and John McDonald Productions. It is meant for entertainment purposes only and is not meant to advise anyone on lifestyle, health, or spiritual philosophical issues of there or any time. All opinions expressed are held by the characters and in some cases the creator of Surf City and Surf City Donuts, John McDonald.